Just-in-time, as the name suggests, is a management philosophy that calls for the production of what the customer wants, when they want it, in the quantities requested, where they want it, and without it being delayed in inventory. Just-in-time is known as a method of lean production, meaning an approach that focuses on cutting out waste while certifying quality. To increase efficiency, this approach attempts to cut out or minimize activities that do not add value to the production process, such as buying new equipment when it can be repaired, unnecessary movement of people and other assets around the business, or in the case of just-in-time, the holding of stock or halting of production. Just-in-time consists of three operating elements, which are tax time, continuous flow of production, and a pull system of production. Tax time indicates the speed at which a product has to be manufactured to satisfy customer requirements. Specifically, it is the time elapsed between starting work on two consecutive items. Lean companies use the tax time metric to set the speed of production lines and to define just-in-time processes to perfectly match their clients' demand and maintain a continuous flow of work through the system. This brings us on to the next element, maintaining a constant flow of production. Commonly known as one-piece flow, continuous flow is a lean method that allows you to move a single product through every step of your process, instead of grouping work items into batches. The method is called this way because it allows you to send goods to the market continuously. This provides you with the opportunity to deliver value more often to your customers. The final just-in-time element we will discuss is the pull system. In this type of system, components used in the manufacturing process are only replaced once they have been consumed, so companies only make enough products to meet customer demand. This means all the company's resources are used for producing goods that will immediately be sold and returned for profit. The pull system works backwards, starting with the customer's order, then using visual signals to prompt action in each previous step of the process. The product is pulled through the manufacturing process by the customer's demand.
Just-in-time can also be referred to as the Toyota production system because the car manufacturing company adopted the system in the 1970s. It was first developed and perfected within the Toyota manufacturing plants by Taishi Uno as a means of meeting consumer demands with minimum delays. Taishi Uno is frequently referred to as the father of just-in-time. Toyota only orders car parts when they receive an order for a new car. They installed this method in the 1970s, and it took them 20 years to perfect. In 1997, Toyota's just-in-time system came to a halt after a fire at the factory that was the only one that produced a certain part. This caused other car part factories to pause as the parts they were making were not needed because of this fire. There are strong cultural aspects associated with the emergence of just-in-time in Japan. Workers are highly motivated to see constant improvement upon that which already exists. Although high standards are currently being met, there exist even higher standards for them to achieve. Companies focus on group effort, which involves a combining of talents and sharing knowledge, problem-solving skills, ideas, and the achievement of a common goal. Work itself takes precedence over leisure. It is not unusual for a Japanese employee to work 14-hour days. Employees tend to remain with one company throughout the course of their career span. This allows the opportunity for them to hone their skills and abilities at a constant rate, while offering numerous benefits to the company. Kanban is a scheduling system, often used in conjunction with just-in-time, to avoid overcapacity of work and process. Kanban is a Japanese scheduling system that's often used in conjunction with lean manufacturing and just-in-time. Taishi Uno, an industrial engineer at Toyota, developed Kanban in an effort to improve manufacturing efficiency. The system highlights problem areas by measuring lead and cycle times across the production system, which helps identify upper limits for work and process inventory in order to avoid overcapacity.
So just in time at Apple, The global example of where just-in-time is shown through is in Apple, which introduced these methods during the production of the iPod, when customers were given the opportunity to order tailored products in order to reduce lead times from over 90 days to just 3 days. Over 150 suppliers were chosen worldwide, and trustworthy relationships were developed in order to allow for products to only be created when ordered or when demand was high. This allowed for holding stock levels to be kept to a minimum, in turn reducing the risk for Apple as they no longer needed to sell products that hadn't yet been created. Further to this, they also took advantage of drop shipping. So another example of the application of just-in-time is in Harley-Davidson, which after being previously very inefficient and unable to meet production times and goals, was able to find where any problems were arising from within their production methods, which were previously hidden by high levels of stock, meaning they could fix these production methods and in turn reduce their inventory by over 75%, leaving much more cash available for the company as opposed to being tied up. Lastly, just-in-time at McDonald's. So McDonald's has incorporated a just-in-time system in terms of only making its food when a customer orders a particular product. All of McDonald's food is stocked pre-cooked, and therefore whenever a customer places an order, the food can be made to order within only a matter of minutes, as opposed to its old system where food was kept under heat lamps to keep all of its burgers warm throughout the day. This resulted in reduced quality, increased wastage, and lower levels of profit. The new just-in-time system as a whole has dramatically reduced costs of inventory for McDonald's and is shown to reduce large amounts of waste. Furthermore, McDonald's has been able to increase its food sustainability and increase sales due to lower lead times presented by its just-in-time system.
There are both advantages and disadvantages to just-in-time. Advantages will be examined first. One advantage of just-in-time is it improves cash flow. This is because an organization's money is not tied up in stocks. Just-in-time requires less stock holding, thus improving cash flow. This benefits an organization as they can spend this money elsewhere. The next advantage is that just-in-time reduces wastage. Wastage normally occurs due to issues such as damage of goods and products going out of date. Just-in-time functions by only ordering the products a company needs and not bulk buying and holding stock. This allows less wastage to occur. Another advantage is the improvement of stock control. As stated before, just-in-time requires less stock holding. Along with improving the cost for a company, the improvement of stock control allows for more factory space. This factory space, being freed up by the improvement of stock control, can be used for productivity instead. The last advantage we will examine is the reduction of suppliers. One of the main factors of just-in-time is that suppliers are reduced significantly. This reduction allows a company and the suppliers to develop a close and trusting bond. A company has to be able to rely on a supplier to deliver on time for just-in-time to succeed. The advantage to the reduction of suppliers is it is easier to control the relationship when there are fewer relationships to maintain. Disadvantages will be discussed next. As previously mentioned, an advantage for just-in-time is the reduction in suppliers allowing more control and closer links. However, this reduction can also be a disadvantage. Companies have to place a lot of faith into the supplier of their choice. Building these relationships with suppliers can take time, and this could be a disadvantage for companies who fail at doing so. Another disadvantage is the increase in costs due to the ability of bulk buying being lost. It will cost a company more money to order when the products are needed rather than bulk buy them, this being a huge cost disadvantage. The next disadvantage is the possible loss of reputation. As quoted by Benjamin Franklin, it takes many good deeds to build a good reputation and only one bad one to lose it. This loss of reputation can be caused by customers being let down by things such as late deliveries. Putting trust that a supplier will stay on track with delivering products on time can damage customer relationships due to the failings of the supplier. This damage of customer relationship can lead to loss of reputation due to issues such as word of mouth and customer reviews, etc. The final disadvantage that has been mentioned throughout is the scheduling of stock. Just-in-time gives suppliers a strict and short time frame to deliver goods. It is hard to keep this strict time frame as receiving stock from suppliers too early results in a high stock level, and receiving stock from suppliers too late can disrupt and stop production.
As aforementioned, it is also important to highlight the traditional method of just-in-case, where companies reserve both finished products and raw materials to be able to respond to a sudden increase in demand. This is known as demand shock. An example which we have recently experienced is the global pandemic, which saw a sudden increase for the demand of items such as toilet roll. Although this method allows organisations to respond to sudden changes, it also means that higher costs are used in stock inventory. However, this is a risk that some organisations are willing to incur to ensure their stock never sells out. It's important to note that just-in-time method is effective depending on the type of business. For example, clothing organisations such as ASOS base their products on fashion and seasonality trends, so it's therefore effective to use this method to ensure waste is minimised. Why? If clothes are ordered to the demand at the time, this means less stock is held, meaning less wastage and being able to adjust to these trends more effectively and efficiently. Just-in-time is referred to as a pull system, and just-in-case is also referred to as a push system. These systems help any business develop a decision to which inventory control method is best for their business. Push systems are forecasted, meaning sales can be unpredictable as it does not consider the change of trends such as seasonality. Pull systems are made to the customer's demand, meaning no excess is produced and inventory levels are low. This picture highlights the difference between these methods, using the ship as a representation of an organisation. The water represents the resources, for example, stock and equipment, but also represents the amount of problems that arise with these methods. This clearly suggests that the more inventory a business has, the more problems that arise. When we look more closely into just-in-time, these problems can be anything from low training to natural disasters or even transportation issues. This happens if a supply or demand shock occurs, which can bring everything to a halt. For instance, at the beginning of the recent COVID pandemic, everything from ventilators to surgical masks experienced distribution. This is because imports from overseas could not reach their destinations in time to meet the surge in demand. This means just-in-case is therefore the safer option, but just-in-time is a lot more cost-effective.